Hey guys, it's John from Los Angeles. It's May 10th, 2024. There's a few things I want to talk about today. We can start with why I put the date on every day. I'm not doing current events. I don't want to talk about politics. I don't want to talk about this person did that crime, this other person did that crime against my interests, against my group, my friends. I don't want to get involved in any sort of drama. I'm putting the date on this because I want to stay in my lane. That's for cops, that's for people, and I'm talking about big picture, like why not talk about the things going on that affect all of us globally, or affect all of us in this country, or affect all of us white people, or affect all of us Catholics, or Irish people, or German people. I'm going to stay in my lane. I'm going to do a comic book. I have a couple novels out. I didn't write my novels with current events in mind, and I'm not writing this one with current events in mind. It's everything a writer does as a response. I heard someone say that and it instantly made sense. Everything that a writer puts out is seen by the other writers in the world, by the intelligentsia, writers, warriors, business people. There's a lot of different things you could be in this world, you know? And so everything's a reply. Everything is seen as a reply. People are always going to consider the source. These days, people are always going to consider the source. You can't really go back and find out who Victor Hugo was or what he was thinking when he wrote Les Miserables, but you can read Les Miserables. They did this really cool, I didn't know I was going to talk about this, and so I'm blanking on all the names because I'm having stage fright. The comedian Penn and Teller, Penn did a movie called Tim's Vermeer. It was a documentary about his friend Tim, who's like a TV engineer, super genius guy. He like flies in his spare time, and he figured out how to paint the way Vermeer did. He was one of those Dutch artists, and they came to the conclusion that no, Vermeer did not leave a recipe for all his paints. He did not leave a detailed account of how he did it, but he did leave the painting. And that was enough. Knowing what he had available to him, you know, the technology of his day, they were able to recreate his method and pretty much paint exactly the way he did. And the way Vermeer painted was very much like Georges Seurat and pointillism, and he used a setup of mirrors to capture light in a way that technically, I guess, the human eye can't or something. There's some drama about how the human eye sees shadows. I think everyone sees a little bit differently. I suspect that an interesting thing about my eyes being crossed, I know I'm doing a lot of these nonlinear tangents and I'm trying to come back to the thread. I never complained about it as a kid. I never knew that was what held me back in sports. I thought I was just a skinny, uncoordinated loser. And so did everyone else. And I never went around telling people, oh, it's because my eyes were crossed and I'm a retard because... I never did that kind of shit on the, baseball field or basketball court or anything like that. I just sucked it up and worked harder and practiced harder. And it wasn't until I was in the Marine Corps and they told me something's wrong with your eyes. You're never going to fly a plane. I was enlisted anyhow. I was never officer. I was never going to go to officer candidate school. That was just stuff was not in the realm of possibilities. And I didn't want it anyhow. But I was never going to fly a plane, not like jet fighters, just the eyes don't work. And I had an eye doctor appointment after I got out. And then the doctor summed it up really quick. He was like, hey, do you have trouble with depth perception? Like you're not good in sports? I'm like, no, I'm garbage in sports. And he explained, well, your eyes don't focus. And that was when I was like 25. And I remembered, I'd had these surgeries as a kid. And of course, we were talking about it. He's like, yeah, they can't, that's human hands. Like, they can't put you back together perfect. Like, God should have. God was sleeping that day, or he was drunk, or whatever the fuck he was doing. So the point is, the non-tangential thing about my eyes, I never complained about it. I just worked harder, and that was good. That, Don't complain. You can't. It doesn't help. And so that's the whole thing, going straight back to this. I'm doing comics. I'm not doing political commentary. I'm not doing news. I'm going to have to cut a lot of this out. But the point is, I'm going to be doing these every day. And I'm going to run out of nonsense to talk about. And I don't want to turn this into drama about politics or drama about the issues of the day or drama about the struggles in my life. I've had quite a bit in the last 10 days. That's not what I'm here for. I'm here to talk about my struggles producing artwork for comics. And that is becoming difficult because of all the other circumstances, yes, but also because, you gotta have something ready every day. And so I have something ready today. It's a continuation of what I showed yesterday. And I think I'm gonna stop getting up and running over there every time. You guys are just gonna have to hope that I show this well enough to see it. It's low effort. This has got to be low effort. So here's Warren throwing pine cone again. And here's Jamie pulling his mask down just in time to get hit with the pine cone. I might have to move the hand out of the way. Oh, and maybe you can see these better if there's not a picture behind it. So Warren throwing the pine cone hitting Jamie. We used to have rock fights as kids where we just sit and throw pebbles at each other. The pebbles would gradually get larger, and they would gradually get faster. And Jamie catching the pine cone. Jamie, now this is I just penciled this today after my workout. Jamie throwing the pine cone back up really high. So this is Jamie up here throwing the pine cone back really high, and it's going to go into this tree and fall on Warren. I might need to redo that a little bit, but that's okay. It's just the first draft of that. I'm sort of fisheye. And this is Warren getting pelted by all this stuff falling out of the tree. So these two, I just blue penciled them last night. I've got other versions of them over there at different scales, at different camera angles, different heights of the camera. The great thing about this, I wanted to be a storyboard artist, but I hate the stuff coming out of Hollywood. I had a friend who went to animation school in Orange County, Art Institute of Orange County, and he got to do animatics for the Avengers fight, where all the heroes were fighting each other, and that's pretty cool. Basically get to lay out who's stronger than who and how they move, and so that's pretty awesome. But getting to do this yourself with pencil and move the camera around and set up different camera angles is just, it's great. It's addicting. It's so much fun. This is just going to be the first page, this whole little thing where they're throwing pine cones at each other. And it's just they're not even riding the skateboards, they're just talking smack. They're like, what do you want to do? You want to go to Venice? No, I want to go to this other park. And, so I am super happy, and I don't want to do nonsense fights on the internet with who said this, who said that, who sent this people missiles, who blew up these people's farm. I mean, I know it's coming, so deal with it when it gets here. Today, that whole power is supposed to go out, right? So it hasn't happened yet. Which brings me to the first thing I want to talk about. I showed the art before I showed this stuff off, but this is important, so this leads me into my points. I want to talk about gratitude. I want to talk about what I'm doing on this channel, and I'm going to be highlighting values in the development of comics. So I'm developing a comic book, and I'm going to do values, not vices, virtues. So this is all going to be about that. Gratitude is a big one. And I want to explore that in IP goals. What's your goal with an IP? I think these guys are on issue 35, and I don't think they're slowing down. I stopped buying them a long time ago. They have way too many variant covers. But, I didn't get this far. This guy, so you can put stuff in here, which is pretty cool. He's got the 8 legs. I was going to make a short film of this. Bandana. All right, this is Erica's bandana. And just to show you I'm not completely full of myself. Well, maybe I am full of myself, but so Boom Comics, this is official. And I picked this up. This is a skull backpack for her to carry all her stuff in because she's always on the road. So these guys, and here, check this out. So this, this is for a short film. I wanted to make this magical, give it some like little effects, like I don't know, special effects, easy, whatever, After Effects sort of stuff. But we could pass stuff through this guy, like a sword or a machete, or I don't know, even a gun. Probably get a handgun through there, a small one. I don't want to show that in here. YouTube doesn't like guns. You don't want to say the word. Wildwood Tarot is going to become the Matt Damon of this channel. And every day, it's going to be out here every day because I love it so much. It's going to be out here every day until I talk about it. It might be a while. I don't know. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. I'm going to need something to take its place. This is a Jenny. I have 2 Jenny Frison covers, 9/8. All the loose ones got sold, the floppies, because the idea of having something around that could be damaged when I was desperate to pay rent, even if it was going to be worth $1,000 2 years from now, there could be a flood, there could be a fire, and I needed to pay bills. So all the ones that were unslabbed got sold. But this is a foil Jenny. This is a virgin Jenny Frison, 9/8. Something is killing the children. And this is a Jay Lee, Something's Killing the Children. I love that Jay Lee is doing covers for Comicsgate. That's so cool. Oh, that's a little, it's got some moisture in there. I don't like that. So, IP goals. This is something I definitely want to talk about because it's important. Do you want to produce 6 issues and go to work for Marvel? Produce 12 issues and sell it to some film studio that'll make half of a TV show or one made-for-TV movie, one Netflix movie? Or do you want to build a studio around an IP, or build a studio around a series of IPs, or do that one forever? Like, that's a thing too. It used to be the newspaper strips, the character, Spider-Man, or they had some like girl drama strips, and I don't even remember the names. But the point is, you could do that as a job forever. Calvin and Hobbes, Bill Watterson could still be doing Calvin and Hobbes if he wanted to. I don't think he needs to. I think he said what he had to say. Oh, there's some police outside. I'm up on the 2nd floor so I can see traffic pretty well. I don't know what they're doing out there. But so what's your goal? What's your goal? Do you want to do it forever? If I had, if Ashley Fox, if I could get it up and running, would I want to do a comic book with just her forever? Would that be enough? I sincerely don't know the answer to that. I don't know. I don't think a comic book would be enough for me. I don't think the novels would be enough for me. I think if I could get any of those things up and running to be my full-time gig, with a little bit of extra spare time so that I'm not killing myself, like a lot of comic book guys are, especially if they're trying to do it on their own, it's 24/7 and they're not making ends meet. So could I do that? Could I do that for a comic book and try and... Back in the day, no. Things are different now. Back in the 80s, no. In the 90s, 2000s, what do I know about the 80s? Is barely making choices. But 10 years ago, could I have done that? No. Now, the way things are now, we'll see. This is going to be the lowest effort of low effort. It has to be good. It has to be impressive to me. Oh, here's one. I don't think this got penciled. Maybe I'd showed this before or not. I don't know. But it has to be impressive enough, like this catching bit. It has to be that good. If it's not at least even close to that, like this is pretty good, but this isn't. This is just a regular panel, so this doesn't have to be, super camera angle or fisheye or anything. But so that's one page, right? So that's like one page. I've got, he throws the pine cone, it hits his brother. He catches the pine cone. We have a long shot where he throws it, fisheye, and we have a long shot next to that. Now all this won't fit on one page. It's going to need to be redrawn and reduced and everything. And a long shot where all the acorns and all the leaves and all the trash falls out of the tree on Warren. So that's a solid page. That's a solid page. We've got one foreshortening panel, one fisheye panel, a couple regular establishing panels with movement. You know, at least the still panel has got some foreshortening in the legs. There's action where the pine cone hits his mast. His brother's throwing a pine cone. I'm happy with that page. If I could do that, if I could do, you know, that kind of thing. Now I got the test for those 9 types of rendering to do the lighting for this and do the backgrounds, and you know, I'm not in a rush. Perfectly happy to do that. I'm probably end up spoiling the whole book 1 page at a time. That's fine. I've got other, you know, I still have to do all the regular things of life. So yeah, there's no point. It's a marathon. It's definitely not a sprint. Yeah, so today's, I don't know, I'm just getting into the groove of this and really being able to articulate why I'm doing this at all. You know, if you can't say why you're doing it, how long will you keep doing it? I'm doing this because this is fun and I want to document the progress, and it's something to work on. The goal at the end isn't money, but a bunch of new friends. And, you know, talk to Jay and Violina. Happy birthday, Violina. Today is Violina's birthday, so her link is in the description. She's an amazing artist. Like I said, she draws like a camera. She draws like a camera. So yeah, a couple skateboards. This is a 0. I put this together before I could really even skate, and it never got skated. And it's just stickers, eyepiece, Cobra, clear grip tape, bunch of German war party stuff, Skynet, Blade of the Immortal. I don't know if you guys can even see it yet. It's got hard wheels on it, and it's a little bit more narrow than I like to skate. Here's another one with some more questionable stickers. So, I don't know if any of this will get my camera. I don't know if any of this will get my channel canceled. There's some problematic stuff. When you guys start talking about tolerance and forgiveness and diversity, and you cancel all the cool kids, and you drive us all together. You know, remember what happened last time you took a military veteran and told him he couldn't have an art career? Didn't go well for the world. I'm not going to do that. I am going to do this comic book. I'm not going to do politics. Comics are more fun. Wildwood Tarot coming soon. All right, love you guys. Talk to you later.